Now to talk about objects data type. For me, there was confusion when I was learning about this. In Salesforce, we generally refer to accounts, contacts, cases as objects. We go to Object Manager, we create custom objects, which is a little misleading when we start talking about objects from a programming sense. In those terms, the objects really are S objects. From a programming standpoint, there is a different data type called object. Object is pretty much ambiguous and can be anything, which means you're able to put an S object, such as account, as a object variable. You can put a string, you can put in an integer, you can put anything in there. So let's just go through a little bit. I'll be going through, let's start with the account. We'll put in the object, we're going to put an account. So I have just we'll name it object variable, create a new account. And we'll go with the same, 23rd Street Burgers. With shipping. Street being 123, 23rd Street. The shipping city. It's New York City. Shipping state. New York, abbreviated. And shipping postal code. Okay. So now if I want to debug, object, I can see here, again, just like how we did with the S object, when we debug it, we see the account and then all the variables within the account object or S object. However, because this is an object, we are not able to reference a field like we could when it was an account. So let's say we wanted reference the name. We get an error, variable does not exist, name. So the object has no idea what's in there, and so it cannot get the name, even though it is an account object that's in there and it does have a name value. Now what I can do as well is that since this is an object variable and anything can go in there, it currently is an account, but I can reassign it to be an integer. So I could do, not there. So the same object is going to be an integer. And if I do system.debug, an object, and then run it, I can see now it's not the account, it is 20, an integer. I can also check to see what type the object is. So there's it's called instance of, and this is to identify what the type value of the object is. So now that if I do get rid of this debug. So I'm saying right here, the object, actually we'll do lowercase object. So that's what I've been naming it, even though it's case insensitive. So the object is an instance of integer. I'm checking to see if it's an instance of integer. So this is going to be a true or false, checking to see if it is. And I can see in the debug it's true. If I wanted to check to see if it was a string, it's going to show up as false. So this is a way to identify, kind of like what we had shown with the S object, with the get S object type. It's a way to identify from an object what the instance of. If I do, let's say, account, it's going to come up as false. Let's say if I do it again, it's going to come up as true. So if there is an object with a new account or an account or any S object that's in there, and then you check to see if it's an instance of an account, it's going to come up as true. If I do an instance of an S object, it is also going to come up as true. And again, the reason being is because an account is an S object. And that's how you can identify what's in an object.